17. At least the last history video is kind of required reading, by the way. Proceed with caution. But anyway, the semester's been over for a while. Congrats! Now we can take our lovely break for the summer. What? What's that? We didn't get enough credit? How? We covered an absurd amount of ground last time. I tested you. I quizzed you. What am I doing this for?
You forgot about the run.
No, I didn't.
You forgot about the run.
I talked about you at length.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
When I was in undergrad.
And so was everything else?
Well, you know what 2004 wasn't there.
What even was that, dude? What are you showing me?
Oh, yes, that's good.
Why are you here?
Happy back home? Because I am the rock and dean of the school.
Are you now?
Yeah, what's this?
Oh, okay.
Show them.
They can see it now.
Teach them the right way. My way.
Like the subs?
The right way.
Alright, you know what? Alright. He's kinda right. I didn't realize how desperate and dire New-Gen-itis was getting. For the unacquainted, New-Gen-itis is a commonly unfortunate state of blissful ignorance. As I say every time, New-Gen-itis isn't a bad thing. We can harness it, form it, shape it into something new. New-Gen-itis is one step away from educated New-Gendom, and that is what I'm here to help achieve. But let me tell you, this is going to be the toughest piece of history to follow yet. From an almost complete fandom reset due to the sweepstakes, to almost every popular trope coming from a vaguely traceable hoax all by the same people, it gets kinda wicked. Considering we need to accelerate your learning as is, we gotta bump things up a notch. Please don't withdraw. I know it sounds scary, but please don't withdraw as we go from Delt 102 to Delt 308. Big step up, I know, but we gotta get shit done. This time, we're going to be moving from September 17th, 2022, the release of the Spamton Sweepstakes, all the way to February 14th, 2024, with the Spamton Love Network. Oh, but why not go all the way to the second sweepstakes drop? I have a life, but not for long, as we run Deltarune Fandom History from the sweepstakes to the Love Network. Woohoo! So, like we ended last time, the Spamton Sweepstakes dropped on September 17th, 2022. I think the best way to tackle this behemoth of content is to give you guys the highlight reel first, then go into the most influential fan concepts that spawned from it, and work our way down like a laundry list. I literally did make a laundry list for this, by the way. Ignoring the Spamton Value Network at the top, let's work our way down the website in no particular order. Again, this is going to be a highlight reel. I'm not going to go over every nook and cranny of the website, only what's relevant to fanon tropes. Here, you can get one of two advertisements. This one has crunchy photos of Ice with the logo Have You Seen Him? Clicking on this takes you to deltarune.com/ICE, a blog post from presumably December holiday. She accounts Noelle being terrified of Ice, describing him as a cryptid that could be found in hometown. And Ice's pizza box reportedly winked at Noelle, so Des burned its eyes. Chris then wore the pizza box like mask, scaring Noelle even more. You could try going to Des's own blog here, but the page is missing on deltarune.com/December. If you instead manually type deltarune.com/Des with context clues, you get to this iconic page. Des's red guitar sits in the middle of the screen, and clicking it plays audio named Find Her. That track name is one of the most influential snippets of information we've ever gotten to this day. It outlines a possible objective in Deltarune's future, that Des can be found. Another ad that can appear in the same space is click here to claim your prize, taking you to deltarune.com/secret. Before you is a grid of blue cabinets, and some have special goodies inside. There's a couple of goodies, but this is the big one. Pay attention now. The fourth row's third door takes you to deltarune.com/chair. Before you is this washed out blue chair. The one from Susie's room in chapter 3. We didn't know it yet. But what if it could get darker than dark? Ominous, these almost wet sounds play as the chair fizzles into an indecipherable black outline. Again, knowing what this is now makes it hit a little bit less, but this was some scary shit. That's not where it ends though. If you click on the chair again and again and again, oh my god, a maniacal laugh plays, and pink and yellow eyes from the sword route stare at you for a split second before sending you back to the main sweepstakes page. Holy shit. That chair is the object behind the pink and yellow eyes darkener. The one unused in the files, and the one that appears for a second in Queen's basement. Device friend, image friend, there they are. This chair is the next secret boss, or at least a secret boss. But let's continue. Next, select the Shirtwear 1.04s Spamton Update Patch Sweepstakes prize. In its description is a hyperlink, Scrap Heap. This takes you to deltarune.com/ram with a B, an interactable version of the Green Room teaser from the Deltarune stats update. There is a lot to do here. The left door opens deltarune.com/weather, where we first see the weather duo. I'm only calling them the weather duo for this video. Obviously, these are La Nino and El Nina, but we didn't learn that until the Spamton Love Network, so erase those names from your minds. This is the weather duo, and they always stick together. Sunny, Misty, Sunny with a U, Breezy. Get those names in your head instead. The right door takes you to deltarune.com/TV, where the Dreamer's television sits alone in the dark. Nothing to see here yet. Leaving the green room now. The Spamton toilet paper prize has a hyperlink that shows you Spamton on the toilet. Scary. Oh. But what's more interesting from this, I was not meant to read that. Whatever. But what's more interesting from this page is a hidden link on the TP itself. bluebubble.rodeo. Typing this link takes you to Chris and Susie dressed in appropriately Western cowboy attire. Get ready for 2 minutes of mildly entertaining shootout action. Click on the Fur-Authentic Cardboard Box prize and use the hyperlink to get to deltarune.com/catpetters. Yeah, Cat Petters, here we go, baby. This audio file plays a corrupt version of a Cat Petters 2-track No Cats, inspiring friend secret boss themes to this day. On her blog, Noelle describes modding the game so much that she was worried about getting a, quote, incompatible pet. Until one day, click, deltarune.com/egg. Noelle was randomly given a white egg that would not hatch in Cat Petters. Also, ignore this Secret Cats hyperlink, it was not originally there. Noelle tried uploading this mysterious egg as a mod, but upon loading up the game the next day after trying, the pet, quote unquote, had, quote, left home due to happiness. Not sadness like usual, but happiness. This warranted tons of possible friend characterization. The Sign My Guest Book hyperlink takes you to deltarune.com/code, another Noelle blog. This audio file plays a badass Jingle Bells cover, one that would eventually inspire the most influential friend inside me secret boss theme. We can't cover that, by the way, it's 4 months too late. Sorry! Blood Crushers the band Raise Up Your Bat is also here, foreshadowing the song with that title in chapter 3. Ignore that Clues hyperlink, again, does not exist yet. Shh. Click the Rouse a Nurse Costume for Plush prize, and his hidden hyperlink brings you to deltarune.com/shadowmen. An oddly slow Rude Buster plays as the fun gang has a shootout with Shadowmen. This is where we sort of learn these enemies' names. These are the Shadowmen. And also Vapor Buster plays. Quick addendum here. Don't know how my dumbass forgot, but this track, it was not called Vapor Buster. It was called Battle Vapor. So not only it already had ties to the weird route, presumably, because it was slowed down Rude Buster, but also Battle Vapor could have referred to when you kill an enemy in Deltarune, which you're not meant to be able to kill an enemy in Deltarune, but there's ways. There's ways you can hack it in. They disintegrate into red vapor. So, this is some weird route bullshit. And it would inspire a lot of fan-made weird route bullshit. Continue. Click the Your Best Shit Heart Locket prize, and click on deltarune.com/Chris_Dreamer_Chris. The audio file up here is pianpian.mp3. Sounds like key smashing, right? It's because it is, and we hallucinated a motif out of this, I'm not kidding. We hallucinated a Chris-like motif out of this that sounds like this. And we still use it to this day. Sweet. The Peepest Bath Rug prize takes you to deltarune.com/bluescircle, where Noelle describes her interactions with Spamton regarding a weird blue egg she got in Cat Pedders 2. This would be huge. Theory fuel. Spamton 3D celebrity photo cube shows you Susie waking up in deltarune.com/blink. This sprite would be used for every chapter 3 intro ever, and that ended up being correct. A hyperlink inside the Spamton engraved wedding ring prize takes you to deltarune.com/damnyouTenna. Pay attention now. Now. The Dreamer's TV is crossed out with a big red X, and Spamton claims that something is all the TV's fault. He expresses his hate for TV World's group as a whole, except Mike. This page flipped a switch in the fandom. The Mike takes I talked about last time, the ones making him the only main antagonist, pretty much gone. Out with Mike, in with Tenna. As per the URL of the page, Mike had to either be used by this crooked Tenna character or was in competition with him. Considering other Chapter 3 characterization we got through the Shadow Men and through the Cathode Crew line, which we'll get into a bit later, it was safe to assume that this Tenna guy would be a ruthless, big bad mob boss that ruled the Dreamer House Dark World and Iron Fist, squashing men beneath his feet like bugs. This itself was already huge, but clicking the TV takes you to a new page filled with static. Use Control-A to highlight everything, and someone is telling you to leave. Scroll down until you see 2 out-of-place squares now highlighted. One just takes you to the green room page, but the other one. Bit-crushed sounds of rushing water play as you scroll up the page. For a while, it is completely, blindingly blue. Keep scrolling. Pieces of white begin to appear. Keep going, keep going. There it is. The door to the Ice Palace. Now we know that this is a blueprint for accessing the sword route, but for now, let's go inside. Clicking the black door-shaped rectangle takes you to deltarune.com/icepalace_glacier with the E and the I swapped around. Noelle describes navigating an endless maze inside of Dragon Blazers. This was not intended for the game, but the developers seemingly couldn't even fix it, chalking it up to campy game reasons. Somehow, inside this repeating maze, Noelle is able to find her way. At the end of the maze lies a door she couldn't open, no matter how she tried. There are no keys that open the Ice Palace door. Secret boss alert! This one in particular led to a huge web of hoaxes that also pioneered legitimate tropes. We'll get there later. There was a Spamton Q&A during the sweepstakes as well, and some of Spamton's responses are interesting. Spamton claims he interacted with Des through email, and in another response he foreshadows possible secret boss elemental pairings. We've seen Dark/Star through the Night and Puppet/Cat through Pink and himself, but we have yet to see Thunder/Light or, more menacingly, Death/Scythe. Spamton also called the denizens of TV World the Cathode's Crew, spawning the super popular fanon name for Tenna's mob, the Cathode Crew. That's all for the main sweepstakes. I know I'm not giving you all a lot of breathing room here, but there is a ridiculous amount of ground we have to cover. If anything, I was actually going to originally assume that you guys just knew about sweepstakes so I could skip over it, hunky-dory, cut out like 10 minutes, but I talked to a few people that somehow had no clue. That made my heart sink. What do you mean? Sorry. New-gen-itis is never purposeful. Remember that. On September 18th, 2022, the day after the sweepstakes, the event ended with the Spamton Value Network, a broadcast that some beautifully describe as analog comedy. You all need to watch this for yourselves. There honestly isn't a lot of big lore stuff like the sweepstakes itself, but it's a trip, man. The experience of all time. The only thing I want to mention from the Value Network is Spamton A, Spamton, and Spamton B, Spamton singing Kill Your TV. This song fueled even more of that Spamton Tenna hatred dynamic, and validated this Mike character even more.
I'll brush my TV with mayonnaise and slime. I'll crush my TV for its horrible crime.
That's it for that, but please, please watch the Spamton Value Network yourself. Some people also thought this Spamton carbide knife would be a new secret boss weapon or something, but that is purely me going off memory. I can't find any examples, but I know. With that, Spamton is given freedom by the audience, and the Spamton Sweepstakes event ends. From this spawned generational fandom concepts that still somewhat persist to this day. Truthfully, it's hard figuring out where to even begin to keep this as succinct as I can, but I think the best way to start with this is Tenna. Tenna. Tenna was undeniably going to be a bad guy who screwed Spamton and sometimes Mike over. First, let's reference the pre-sweepstakes time period a little bit. Those mics from that era are pretty much dead. Content stopped being produced for them effectively immediately. Take Wandering Makers, for example. While this didn't exist until the exact day the sweepstakes began, it did have a very popular mic. This mic is actually 2/3 of the fanon mics that likely inspired the Canon mics. Last time we had Home Sweet Home's mic for Batsat, but Wandering Makers' mic more than likely inspired Pluie. Cat Friend mic being relatively nice, it lines up. But Wandering Maker's mic, while not immediately killed in favor of Tenna, was scrapped decently quickly in favor of a Tenna design instead. Others were just completely shot dead. Luigi's Home Sweet Home, among many others, are gone. Dead, battered, smashed, all in favor of Tenna and in favor of new mics. Now, let's talk about how these Tennas looked. That final mic from last time, Devil Red and Evan Ayers' design from M_TV, actually became a pretty widespread trend for how Tennas would look. Since they were presumably evil, head honcho type characters, many of them were given wide builds and broad shoulders complete with a hat to obscure their eyes. These sleazy bastards would always don the TV smile from the end of Chapter 3, just like the mics did before, but the difference is that it was always completely sinister, no matter what. Other times, Tennas simply followed the same design philosophy as King and Queen. That's part of why sleazy Tennas obscured their eyes with hats in the first place, but here it was exactly how King and Queen did it before. They didn't have to be blue, though. They could be blue, sure, but they could also be green, orange, or literally anything. Sometimes Tenna could also straight up be a dreamer. Throwaways Tenna is a great example of this. Decently simple concept. Chapter 3 is going to be about family, so Tenna being part of the family would hit. Led to cool stuff, but this was seen more on the secret boss side than the Tenna side. Direct to Darkness, another Chapter 3 take, popularized the trope of Ram Tenna, as in Tenna is a ram. This is primarily because of Deltarune.com/ram with a B, sounding like ram without a B. This is also me going totally off memory, but the Spamton Value Network has a picture of sheep in a field for seemingly no reason. Sheep are sort of like rams. Boom. Now we have a reason. 2 pieces of evidence is better than 1. Ram Tenna could literally look like anything. As time went on, designs tried getting weirder and weirder. While we haven't hit that, oh god, the Toby core period yet, Tenna designs especially did start getting weird to stick out. For example, Leon's Tenna design is Deoxys out of Pokemon. Some real freak shit. Tennas could also be just little mischievous guys, funny little dudes that may or may not have sinister undertones. These could take beats from other design tropes. Any of these could take pieces from the others, really. It was very malleable. All of these traits could also be put onto mics. Leon's mic, Direct to Darkness's director character, and plenty of others use these ideas to keep Mike as the main antagonist, with Tenna acting as the real evil behind the shadows that you'd fight as the true final boss of the chapter. Okay, so we kind of got the Knights fight down, pacing-wise. Sure, but we'll take it. Mike could be a few things, though. He could be subservient to the evil Tenna, as aforementioned. He could have power over the Dark World like Tenna does and compete with him for turf, or, rarely, he and Tenna could be straight-up equals, like in H. Chex's Deltarune by River. There's also, get this, a woman, too. The second half of Tenna, Anne. Sometimes depicted working with Tenna, sometimes just a character in general. It was a popular concept to put an Anne in your Chapter 3. Now, I've been mentioning these, quote, chapter takes a lot, and that's because chapter takes truly blossomed here. Interpretations of future Deltarune chapters really found their footing. Before we get into them though, I want to go over some musical leitmotifs that many takes use for their tennas and beyond. First off, this is a big one. Bumper. You guys need to know about Bumper. Its use culminated in C-Mod, a take by RV Pine. I love Bumper. Not as much as my friend though. Now this is the Bumper motif, but this was uploaded in January of 2024 and it was being used for a while, so what gives? Oh boy. Okay, so, as the story goes, a mysterious leak appeared on SoundCloud with this slightly sped up. It was titled Bumper, and since it was a short track, it was easily interpreted as a TV bumper. RV Pine allegedly found this leak and began showing it to others. Eventually, that Direct Darkness take I mentioned would use Bumper, but they would add their own tenna spin to it, causing widespread confusion. Just what Bumper was actually Bumper? To make matters worse, the Bumper was accidentally sent in a Discord server and it spread to select people. C-Mod's Bumper is a recreation of the original but is fake. With this backstory in mind, you may ask me, what song genuinely leaked here? What did Bumper become in Chapter 3? What song did it leak? It didn't. It leaked jack shit. Because it's completely and utterly fake. The entire story behind it is a campfire story, really, and the fake leitmotif itself is a game of telephone, as it was translated by people in and outside of the loop. There were a lot of select people in on this, by the way. That will become a trend for these chapter takes. Any quote-unquote hoaxes you may find are usually all by the same 15 or so people, just with different people at the helm of each one, but all the same group, don't get it twisted. And that is hoaxes plural. So many of these were framed as leaks rather than just fan takes. I'd say it was about like half and half by the end of the time period. So why is that? Before we answer why, the sneaking mic room motif was used for tennas and chapter 3 takes in general after it was revealed in the autumn 2023 newsletter. It was shown off because some sneaking segment in Chapter 3 was entirely scrapped because of its slow pacing. With that out of the way, the reason that chapter leaks began in this time was because of an account titled UZ on October 6, 2022, just a few weeks after the sweepstakes. It would upload a ton of alleged Deltarune Chapter 3, 4, and 5 soundtracks. While Yuzi Inu wasn't truly the first of its kind, it had a huge impact because it broke out of the SoundCloud space. Since the account name was some play on Toby Fox's name, and since the music was good, people began to believe it. It spread onto Twitter and subsequently YouTube. Once SoundCloud leaks spread onto YouTube, you're doomed. This isn't a dog on you guys at all, but lots of people on this platform are like terrified of using SoundCloud for Undertale Deltarune content for some reason. I don't really understand. Like, some people think it's beneath them in comments sometimes. I don't understand it. Please, just make SoundCloud accounts if you want to experience things like this and support artists' work. I swear to you, every popular concept you have seen for the past decade was on SoundCloud first. Don't watch YouTube re-uploaders that don't get permission at best and refuse to take down stolen work at worst. Actually, report these three in specific. They're a content farm, all run by the same guy who harasses original creators. Sorry. Important side tangent over. What I want to say, what my point is with this, is for some reason, oftentimes people don't expect Undertale Deltarune music to be good on SoundCloud, even though it's always sounded good. So when Yuzi Inu, who is really RV Pine, broke the mold and spread onto Twitter and onto YouTube, people genuinely bought the leaks because they were elaborate and because they sounded good. I mean, stuff from 3 chapters? That's the real deal. It's gotta be. Remember, 3 through 5 were planned to release as a bundle at this time until Halloween 2023 newsletter revealed that would only be 3 and 4 for timing reasons, so Yuzi Inu showcasing 3 through 5 played into what the masses knew, adding fuel to the fire. Yuzi Inu would become Vision Crew, by the way, a set of alternate chapters that framed themselves as the fan take they were. Because of Yuzi Inu's success, many connections were made with people, and more of these leaks we made over the years. We've already discussed Bumper, but there's a fake leitmotif that I believe is arguably crazier than it, and it's called Ice Palace Boss Loop B. Remember, the Ice Palace was given tons of foreshadowing in the sweepstakes, so many takes have their own Ice Palace, usually as the route to the secret boss. One such take will be posted to Throwaway. another prominent hoax account that was genuinely run by 19 popular people. Ice Palace Boss Part B Loop was uploaded to Throwaway by XNQ in January of 2024. It sounded like this, and this is crucial. This is an eye-opening leitmotif, okay? It genuinely explains the chunk of the time period. Just listen the hell up. Peep this. I'm going to play it again, because I need you all to remember this leitmotif and its general instrumentation, especially with those drum patterns. Got that? I got that down? Cool. Because the actual Ice Palace boss fight theme will be posted for another 3 months, yet this leitmotif was everywhere. This happened because, as previously mentioned, a metric fuck ton of people were on this project, including a handful of popular composers. Throughout these 3 months before Ice Palace Boss's full upload, musicians would use Ice Palace Boss Loop B in their own secret boss themes, whether they be for one-off bosses or entirely separate hoaxes. Take Lex's All in Act, for example. It's just there for some reason. And then take Mike's Husband, another hoax account possibly run by XNQ. Fall from Grace, its secret boss theme. Just uses it. Many others did too. You get the gist. I call the Ice Palace boss motif eye-opening because it explains why so many songs just sounded so similar this time. Originally, I was going to make this segment in confusion because why did so many songs just sound like Attack of the Killer Queen? Like that was a thing for a little bit, but then some friends enlightened me on Ice Palace Boss Loop B. I was there for all this, by the way, but I wasn't as active on SoundCloud as usual during this time, so all these hoaxes, especially Ice Palace, kind of all a blind spot for me. People would innovate on how these leaks are done. Chapter 3 music is probably my favorite example. Their Tenna was a tin of pie, being named Tinna, like tin of pie, but what I really like about this account is that it's framed as some random 10-year-old who was genuinely blessed with Deltarune leaks and just doesn't know how to process it and post them properly. Of course, like these other hoaxes, it was really run by a pre-established member of the community, in this case Briley, but the stories these hoax accounts came up with were just always incredible. Like Leon, really run by Lex, stopped uploading because they're just endlessly recovering from a car accident. Magical. Let's shift gears away from leaks and toward chapter takes that truly framed themselves as takes. There were popular tropes that all chapter takes followed, hoax or not. 1. Susie-Zilla. We were right on the money with Susie dressing up as a Godzilla spoof for this funny encounter. I elaborated on it before. 2. An expansion of chess theory. I'm not fully explaining Ossiflowol's chess theory again, but the gist is that each chapter's main boss would correspond to chess pieces in descending order of power. Takes began expanding on this idea by adding an extra layer to it. Each chapter would have a number of antagonists corresponding to how many chess pieces there are of each type. This introduced concepts such as Vision Crew's 2 bishops and many different takes' 2 knights. 3. Every take had some kind of Shadow Man mob. Already mentioned this, but this was such a popular trope that some had these sub-bosses dedicated to the Cathode Crew's mob. It didn't have to be called Cathode Crew either. It could be called, for example, the Midnight Crew, because of Homestuck. I mean, understandable. Lambda Rune's Creed, Vision Crew's Man of the Mob, and usually Tenna or Mike themselves could be seen running these mobs. And 4. Takes had Toriel. Toriel was absolutely going to be in chapter 3 because she's just right goddamn there. I did talk about Toriel last time, but honestly not much has changed here. She's still the vessel for chapter 3's weird route. She always appears in some kind of fallen down reprise and is cute. Her living room chair, Chairiel, could also appear sometimes. For example, Deltarune Ozymandias made Toriel ride Chairiel like a lion. Some takes dealt with other weird ramifications of chapter 3. A very influential take, Telegang, was one of the first to tackle the ramifications of a dark world being made at night when it's already dark. Could this make some kind of darker world? There is Deltarune.com/chair, where the tab's name implies things getting spooky upon going, quote, darker than dark. Maybe this dark world would be different. Telegang as a Tenna, pretty run-of-the-mill. Hey, bow! This freak-ass Tenna is searching for the fun gang throughout the entire chapter, and the true nature of the chapter shows very early on. Telegang is said to be more of a creepypasta than a chapter take, but it's still inherently a chapter 3, and would inspire many takes like it. Still, the creepypasta-ness shows all throughout. I just told you about Cheerial, right? Cheerial, cute little character, only was malicious like sometimes, very rarely. But in Telegang, in this darker world, this is Cheerial. Upon the Dark World's creation, Toriel fuses with her own chair, the one she was sitting on, fast asleep. There were generally theories about what a darker Dark World could entail, but Telegang was one of the first to fully expand on the disturbing idea, and one of the first to make a disturbing chapter outside of the weird route. All this shit is normal route, by the way. These disturbing elements would inspire other takes as well, and inadvertently, an arms race would begin to make the weird route specifically as just fucked up as possible. Some of these takes got so ridiculously gross for the sake of being gross, I'm not even going to mention them. If I tell you guys what went down some of these, the comments will be chock full of them, and I don't feel like dealing with that bullshit. Just know that a handful of takes took things way over the line for the sake of quote-unquote horror. Telegang started the push for horror in chapter takes, but nothing like some of these takes would do. Now, before we mosey on to the secret bosses, I want to double back to how chapters did the Ice Palace. As I hopefully already mentioned, the Ice Palace was usually the route to the chapter's secret boss. Any secret boss could be here, honestly. Broomies Chapter 4 has you fight Nightmare, that burnt Icy's pizza box that was mentioned in the sweepstakes. Astral Disc uses the chair secret boss here, simultaneously making it Friend. Quick addendum, no it fucking doesn't. Friend is the main antagonist of its chapter 6, and the secret boss is the Vessel. I think I get that wrong at least one more time in the video. I don't know how I forgot. It's very easy to remember. Astral Disc Chapter 6 secret boss is Vessel, not Friend. Friend is main antagonist. Continue. Throwaway more literally makes it some Ice Queen character. Directed Darkness makes it a game-breaking bug. The point is that any secret boss could be anywhere in these chapters, and that goes for Ice Palace. Our thinking was a lot more freeform back then. Toby Fox and Itoki Hana's Skies Forever Blue music video and website also was theorized to connect to the chapters. This was revealed in the Winter 2022 newsletter, and many thought that it could represent Chris and Noelle inside of Dragon Blazers. This ended up sort of being right. ERM uses sounds from this dragon enemy, so kinda. There so far has been no correlation besides that. This pink girl was also thought to represent Noelle or Des, as she can be seen all the way at the bottom of the website looking up from the void. This connects to Ice Palace, because that obviously is Dragon Blazers. Alright, let's talk biggins. The biggins. Secret bosses. Every trope I've told you all about, the ones regarding Tenna and Mike and Friend and the Ice Palace and Des, every single one could apply to the secret boss. The chair itself could still be the secret boss. Friend could be the secret boss separately. Friend and the chair could be the secret boss at the same time. Friend could be any secret boss, since it may just be someone's face. Some secret bosses were old family cameras like Lumia and Camellia, supporting chapter 3's themes of the past and family. Lots of secret bosses were a faux Azrael, such as Directed Darkness's Rail, Leon's Eris Hyper, and Telegang's Gesture. Many of them used that hallucinated PNPN motif that I mentioned earlier too. All tropes from the pre-sweepstakes era held true as well, and got amplified if anything. The secret boss could be the landline phone. The secret boss could be Asgore's Trashed Flowers. Many were off versions of Flowey. Petally, Rosy, get this, Flowery. And that may sound crazy. How did they get that name? How did we guess that? I thought it was crazy too for a bit, but realistically it isn't that hard to predict this name. In Undertale, Papyrus already gave us the name Flowery, which he would mistakenly call Flowey. So this is prime time for a fake Flowey character. So yeah, not that crazy honestly, and also, before I forgot last time, I'm going to remember here, the green soul was commonly used for the shadow mantle acting like a shield, but any soul mode is on the table. Ices, pieces of snail pie, old tapes, anything was possible. To put this into perspective, when, and just listen to me, when Mickey Mouse became public domain, there was a very, very short-lived trend of making Mickey Mouse secret bosses, and one of them, Mousy Mike's domain, sounded really good. Insanity. And all these tropes could fall into another umbrella. Cancelled television shows. Now it's time. It is finally time, my friends, to talk about Friend Inside Me. On September 23rd, 2019, Toby Fox would upload this to his Tumblr blog. You've got a friend in me from Toy Story, but freak shit. Captioned, Friend Inside Me, hence the...
Friend inside me. Friend inside me.
lyrics. In 2019, nothing was thought of this, but remember the teased 2 minutes of mildly entertaining cowboy shootout action? The Truck Freaks version of the Spring 2023 newsletter unfortunately revealed that these 2 minutes were cancelled. Not scrapped, not shelved, cancelled. Quote, well, that's just how cowboy shows go, I guess. If you want to learn more about this, you can watch Spooky Dude's original Friend Inside Me video, the one that really started it all. But Fox has shown interest in Toy Story. Outside of this Friend Inside Me post being discovered because of this newsletter, it's been stated that the design of Queen's Mansion is inspired by a Toy Story amusement ride. What if Deltarune gets even more on the nose with his Toy Story inspirations? And considering the name Friend Inside Me, what if Friend, the, of course, secret boss, was involved? And, considering the name Friend Inside Me, what if Friend possessed former Cowboy Show TV stars to parallel us controlling Chris? Boom. Friend and freak inside of me, baby. Cowboy secret bosses were in a league of their own. RV Pine Sheriff Timber was the most popular take for a while, but many took on the trope. Cowboy secret bosses could take on all the other previously mentioned tropes too. The world was Friend Inside Me's oyster. Friend Inside Me also completes our trio of Mike references. While Jongler could just be any Friend Inside Me take, they do have the build of Jass's Loggy, a big piece of wood with a speaker box and a friend inside him. Cool. I don't know how to properly convey to you just how many secret bosses there were during this time. There were a lot of takes, a lot of mics, a lot of tennas, sure, but secret bosses were plentiful, abundant, packed to the brim, overflowing.
Oh, Jesus Christ, speak of the devil, Peddly from Jasperine Chapter 3?
I'm Peddly, your most friend.
Why are you in my house?
Why? The back door open.
No, it wasn't, Big Dog.
Then why did you win me the key?
Those are my car keys, dude.
It's like,
It's a car.
it's rotary routed.
What is the meaning of this?
Well, I heard he was talking about my friends right now, aren't
I
they?
didn't say anything bad.
Oh, thank God, I can't do that no more. Say, some friendlies wanted to share some too.
Well, let me tell you, buddy, I didn't talk bad about no. But how many? Peddly, how many? Peddly Jasperine, how fucking
Just
many?
a pocket full of posies, bud.
How many? 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 How many?
I'm
How
telling
many?
you, just a little money for all the ones watching.
Give it to me straight.
They're here! Every person see every person!
No, 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 no! It's my house, my door. My house, my door. Still my door.
Hey!
Radiola Chapter Gamma Module 64!
Hit that music start!
That comes in, call me something.
To infinity and beyond. To infinity and beyond.
Uh-oh.
Dude.
Big man, you don't fit. You don't fit. Hey, watch it, pal. I'm not the one made out of pizza. Excuse me? Excuse me?
You're the most beautiful ball I've ever seen in my life.
All right! Everyone, get out!
And as they leave, I'm going to read off every single one of their names to make sure that they're all gone. If you don't want to hear that, skip to this timestamp. Let's go. Anne, Antoinette, Ariel, Eris, Astrochu, Aunt Snable, Bianca Chan, Big P, Billy Chance, Bond Slick, Brandel, Brianna Frizz, Caldo KP, Camellia, Cow Tin, Chicken Stock Photo, Cinescotch, Connor, Quarter, Kringle Snap, Cyclo, Siren, Deadeye Divity, DOV, Dirk, Dr. Frostmaths, Diekite, Aesop, Elegy, Eska, S-Stitch, Eve, Floral, Fleur, Flowery, Flowtoon, Phone, Fun 6, Funulo and Funula, Fuzz, Jester, Getty Wilson, Gospel, Holidays, Halo Jack, Hackster, Hearsey, Hillel, Hex, Hollybell, Honor, Hickersick, Immortal Hydrangea, Indy, Juke Dine, Cass Shear, Kaufmo, Kraken of Sea, Crush, Lefty, Lillian, Loggy, Lucidia, Lumia, Lustralox, Mad Doc, Maisie, Manny, Mantle Keeper, Mascot, Maskell, Mem, Missile, Missing No, Mousy Mike, Mr. Marigold, Mythos, Neighbor, NicoNet, Nightmare E, Nightmare, Nitro Retron, Ocasio, Oliver, Orbeed, Padzuko, Pedally, Piker, Pluggo, Power, Poxelit, Quiddo, Radiola, Rail, Rayleigh, Rooter, Rose, Rosie, Rosie, Rhodey, Scrap, Screepto, Sheriff Timber, Sheriff Wooster, Shikari, Shiloh Shadow, Showrunner, Sir Chuckleberry, Sisters Ebony and Ivory, Scrady, Smakey, Snowy, Soxwald, Soilwood, and Shamato, Solace, Sonata, Starlit, Taper, Tapes, Teal, Tengama, Thalio, The Judge, Thesperus, Farmater, Vienchez, Vessel, Western, Wicker, Wilter, UFO, and Zombie. Now that you hopefully understand the birth of modern Deltarune chapter takes, we can continue on to the cryptic, spooky theory sphere with Des. During the pre-sweepstakes era, Des discussion was just beginning to grow. Chapter 2 planted many seeds with our first direct mentions of her, warranting more character analysis than anything, but after the sweepstakes revealed Find Her alongside her red guitar, everything changed. Des has disappeared, we've known that, but for the first time, we are given a direct objective about her. To find her. This led to discussion about how important Des will actually be to the future of Deltarune. Finding her may be the straight-up objective of future chapters. Hinted at in the police station, and later proven correct by Chapter 5, some aspect of Des' disappearance may have gotten Asgore removed from Hometown's police force. Considering the mystery revolving around the bunker, not the shelter, the bunker, she may have disappeared in the bunker itself for whatever reason. This could even have to do with Dark Worlds, considering that 1. Deltarune's plot is driven forward by them, and 2. Speeding up the bunker's ambience by 666% placed the garbage noise from Entry 17, that we began to theorize had to do with the creation of dark fountains. With those connections in mind, Des could also be the Knight. Des Knight was born here, yes. From what I can tell, Dorkt was the one to first explain the concept in a video. With everything already mentioned, Des as the Roaring Knight could also parallel Mother 3's Masked Man. I don't know shit about Mother, sorry, but the parallel goes like this. The Masked Man is revealed to be Klaus, Lucas's brother. Considering Toby Fox has admitted to Mother 3 being a massive inspiration for him, the story beats revolving around that could line up rather nicely. There are definitely more intricacies than that, but I am not the man to tell you. Go watch Dork's video, or really anyone's video, since that point has been argued to this day. Now, the fandom does have a tendency to laugh off any Knight candidate that isn't Des, and I'm sure that no matter how much I encourage you all to have an open mind, as they usually do, some of you will still call other lines of thinking stupid. Silly, but They aren't. I'm prefacing this because of how vile night discussions can get for some reason. There were a handful of unique night candidates during this time period because of the information we were given. Keep an open mind, and especially don't harass creators of theories if they're mentioned. Outdated theories usually to boot. Shouldn't have to say that, but some people are nut jobs, okay? Okay. Chris Knight already existed during the pre-sweepstakes era, but now there's a new motivation for it that holds true for all Knight candidates. If Dess's disappearance has to do with the Dark Worlds, then the Knight may be opening Dark Worlds in order to find Dess. This logic slots in very well for Chris, and for other members of the Holiday family. Mayor Knight appeared here. The Mayor, not Carol. We did predict her name to be Carol, but it could also be Comet, or any other name of the sea. Considering that Mayor Holiday was being built up as an antagonist in the Light World, she would make sense as the main antagonist too. Her knight armor was commonly made to have a badass helmet that looks like Gift Trot from Undertale. This has so much aura to this day. Rudy Holiday was barely discussed as a Knight candidate at this time, but discussion did exist. Rudy Knight worked about as well as Mayor Knight for the same reasons, just that Rudy wasn't an antagonist already. Would have been an even bigger twist. Now for a more unique candidate. Vessel Knight. Hear me out. This is because of Wandy Doodle's Oblivion theory, which claims that the overarching goal of Deltarune will be to free the Light World from our own control, backing out of our devilish deal with Gaster. On the other hand, the weird route will have us control Deltarune forever, our desires on full display. This theory is over 100 pages long. I know I should read it, but I'm not. I'm sorry. I got more knowledgeable folks to just give me the rundown. I'm sorry. I'm sure it's great. Just read it yourselves if you dare. It's linked below, alongside everything else. Oblivion Theory was a strong advocate for the Vessel being the Knight because it represented our own desires to keep playing Deltarune. This is why the Knight keeps creating Dark Worlds even if it brings about the Roaring. The Vessel as the Knight shows our own selfish dream to keep playing Deltarune forever and ever and to keep experiencing new things from it. With these ideas of fiction in mind, Father Alvin was also a very popular Knight candidate. One of the few pieces of hard evidence for this was Spamton mentioning communion when referring to the Knight, as in a holy gathering, but the real sauce was in the implications of Alvin Knight. Of course, Alvin Boom is Gerson Boom's son, the great author of probably the most popular literary work in Deltarune's universe, Lord of the Hammer. Alvin has a lot to live up to say the least. With every sermon he tries so hard to even remotely match his father's abilities. This culminates in, "Were you proud of me, father? And is it right for this hammer to..." In front of Gerson's gravestone, Alvin talks about the tool his father was buried with, his hammer. While the Knight was described to stab into the ground, we didn't know how literal that was at the time. What if Alvin was using Gerson's hammer to create these fountains in his father's name? What if Alvin was creating Dark World to try and get even a sliver of his father's talent for creating fiction? There was much discussion at this time about the Dark Worlds being metaphors for us creating fiction. Thus, Alvin Knight was born. By proxy, Gerson emerged as a Knight candidate as well, but we discussed him last time with Jaru's Oberon Smog. With this last candidate, I need to stress once again to not harass a single soul. I'm going to have to hurl stones at you, personally, if you do. We were having good fun, and frankly, I wish we would loosen up as much in the modern day, but that's different. Let's talk about Papyrus as the Knight. This was not a joke theory until chapters 3 and 4 were close to releasing. Papyrus Knight was a serious idea, and in a non-mocking way, I need you all to drill that into your skulls. Get preconceived notions about Papyrus Knight out of your goddamn skulls, okay? Open your minds. Open them. Keep them open, okay? Okay. I believe Insanely ADD was the first one to popularize Papyrus Knight. Deltarune references Papyrus an odd amount of times. Just one of many examples is that Trashy the Trash Can is straight up a reference to Papyrus's phone calls in Undertale. Papyrus's speech sounds are also in the files, and the computer lab closet is said to fit a large person. Insanely ADD also just has this wonderful understanding of Papyrus's character. Please check their channel out. They are, oh my god, they're so underrated, dude. They have a 101 facts about Papyrus video that isn't just the channel Frederator style. Fact number 1, Papyrus shows up in a snowy area. Fact number 2, Papyrus walks on the snow. No, it's actually great. Watch their channel, please. Anyway, Undertale makes it clear that Papyrus is insecure about himself. He wants to be popular so bad while Snowden Town doesn't even know his name at worst. Considering we haven't seen the Knight in action, they could be an outcast in Hometown too. What if the Knight's intentions aren't inherently bad? The Skelebros moved into Hometown very recently. With other characterization in mind, Papyrus is probably lonely and looking for some means of escapism, notoriety, or both. And in character for him, he could be like Queen and be sort of oblivious to the roaring and how world devastating it is. In addition, however you interact with Papyrus in Undertale, it does not change him, even more so than Flowey. Flowey, the main antagonist of Undertale, shows that our choices matter, but in Deltarune, we are told that our choices don't matter. Papyrus is the only major character in Undertale we truly cannot take off his beaten path besides downright killing the guy. With all this bundled together, he actually makes a really captivating Knight candidate. Surreal also made one of the first popular Papyrus Knight fan tracks. With the Knight out of the way, let's talk general theories. Molly Stars' device theory. The one everybody and their mother cites, and for good reason. It was made during this time. I can't lie, I have not watched the cumulative 10 hours of this theory, but I do know the gist, I think. I hope so, God. Deltarune is like a big metatextual onion, with multiple layers of stinky, smelly fiction. Gaster created a survey program for us to connect the Deltarune via the light world, which to us is fiction. This goes even deeper with the dark worlds, which are fiction to us and to the light world. Even then, everything under this is fiction to us, from Gaster and all the way down. Device theory keeps getting proven so right that's not even funny. Rousey explaining how the battle UI is diegetic in Chapter 5, Chapter 3's boards, and especially the Mantle game. Bali was on demon time, man. Foundational text to this day. People can just reference it at this point. I've done it myself. It's just that good. Sock Muppet released Writing on the Wall, a popular video suggesting that the True Lab entries in Undertale are not all written by Alphys. I know this isn't strictly about Deltarune, but Gaster's Deltarune characterization is important here, so I'm including it. This is a highly contested theory to this day, and discussion surrounding it is why I want to mention it. You know you've done good when people are still discussing your work in a civil manner. Sock Puppet hit the jackpot, regardless of how correct he was. Penguin Powerful made presumably the first semi-popular Ruby Knight video ever. These should be your foundational documents, people, if you're a Ruby Knighter. This guy's the OG. As previously mentioned, insanely ADD ushered in Papyrus Knight, and Dorked helped usher in Death Knight. She really would stick to more of the character analysis side of things as per usual though, but that's awesome! Everything's awesome! Who cares? Just as before, Half-Bred Chaos kept cooking. They brought discussion about Sky's Forever Blue to the forefront, and they introduced Echidna to the masses. Ever since Chapter 1, there has been an odd placeholder enemy in the game named Echidna, taking the appearance of a simple Rudin. It is described as Mother of Monsters. We've gotten more information about Echidna since then, but whether they are truly a character is unclear. It is strange that they're referenced and changed a lot every chapter though. Moving away from theories, quick addendum. I almost forgot, Memory Head. Look at the Memory Head, look at it. Look at Memory Head. There's Jevil, there's Spamton. What if the other secret boss designs are in the conglomerate that is Memory Head? Honestly, could still hold up. Have no way of knowing. Any face could be in this Memory Head. You could argue literally anything. Mystic Slime kept on trucking. From what I could tell, they truly pioneered the Undertale butt style of playthrough during this time. Very cool, very generational. All around a great time. Other creators would follow suit, some getting more popular than others from the trend. Cybles would pop off during this time as well for similar energetic content. That sounds like an AI wrote that part. I write it all myself, I swear. It's not that hard to write. But Cybles did get AI to rewrite Deltarune though, and they got pretty freaking popular. Nighthawk began uploading with in-depth character analyses. Character analyses in general saw an increase in this time alongside the big sweeping theories. A-Sprite Rico kept cooking in the pixel art department, making funny little animations of Deltarune and Undertale as usual. During this time, they were known for making characters hit funny little dances. Noelle dances, Susie dances, everyone dances, good times. Also, Hizora. Gate Kid 3 would begin uploading their pixel animations as well, and Spriter Mike kept cooking with gas. Spriter Mike made so many generational things during this time, it is not and funny. The Roaring Titans concept to go alongside the track we mentioned last time, what if Noelle lost herself, skill training session, lots of just really high quality spray animations coming out from everybody, and I'm surely missing people. Chapter leaks and takes sometimes bled onto YouTube through his animators, like UT with their Chapter 3 animation. Not much else to talk about, but UT is insanely talented like everyone else I've mentioned and will mention. Cody also uploaded their take on a first act of Chapter 3, sort of, and it popped off too. JQR just also kept on trucking with their continuation of the Chapter 1 Weird Route, and a Spamton EX fight accompanied by a track by Esther Witcher Timely. I know we're sort of all over the place right now with art versus gaming versus theories, but we just gotta keep going here, fellas. Brownie Fox began her Deltarune Theory Basics series. Did I subconsciously copy that without knowing it? God, I hope not. It's really freaking good. Basically, she would give rundowns on the most popular theories of the time period, and foundational concepts that came before them. Brownie was an early advocate of Rousey being some kind of Titan thing outside of the series. But speaking of her videos, oh my god! Jesus, I forgot to talk about the debates on where Sans is from. Is he from Undertale or Deltarune? Did the chicken or the egg come first? The egg, by the way, reptile eggs came first, sorry. Anyway, Sans acts really weird in Deltarune. His buildings and hometown are the only ones straight up ripped from Undertale. In addition, It's Raining Somewhere Else is an interesting track name to say the least, and he has that Don't Forget drawing in a secret lab. I'm like, okay, we clocked as chapter 5, guys. We've clocked both of these. Got it. Moving on. Man on the Internet remastered their The World Revolving with Lyrics cover, and they added like a bunch of cartoon sound effects. You know, the up and down, that one. They had it. It kind of sounds like a Johnny Test intro. Asheville Lane will begin uploading with their first 3 episodes of an ARG sort of web series releasing during this time period. While these weren't the meat of the series just yet, Asheville Lane would get crazy popular after this. Staggering Winds would begin uploading as well, another high-quality spooky Delta web series where something is just wrong. And it got big too. Andrew Cunningham kept on trucking with his analysis of most songs in chapters 1 and 2 with the purpose of dissecting them for Gaster's theme. This helped him conclude that the freedom motif is heavily associated with Gaster's theme, and that Jevel's The World Revolving is the closest theme we currently have to a bona fide Gaster fight thing. Really cool. And not the show, but you've been watching for like however fucking long anyway. If you've seen my video about Jevel's parallels to Noelle and Gaster, you'll know that Cunningham was likely on the money, and that this is likely intentional. Surreal would create the, from what I can tell, first popular Penumbra Phantasm cover. Fantastic would also create one, and I'm sure there's plenty of others, but widespread Penumbra mania didn't start just yet in Deltarune community. For the unacquainted, Penumbra Phantasm is an unused Homestuck track Toby Fox wrote on the piano. Because of the song's name and because Toby just generally reuses songs and leitmotifs, this was on the table for Deltarune just as much as Nightmare Night was, which we discussed last time. An example of a reuse is Undertale's track Sans, Sans of the period, lowercase. That was actually a Homestuck track first. Surreal also made Your Fault and just like generally popular Gaster tracks. Final boss Gaster. Weird Route, big. With that, let's talk general FANWORKS. First, SPAMAIL. Not a ship, but a swap. Noelle swap with Spamton. Got surprisingly popular. Spamton Restitched was a fan game by Sadbread that saw Spamton Neo get a second phase, where he becomes just totally deranged. Sadbread made quite a few popular fan games at this time, with Chapter rewritten Spamton the Great and Deltarune the Upper Hand. Actually, wait. Shit, Upper Hand didn't release yet. Whatever! I forgot to mention Jamangar's Dead Ringer last time. Dead Ringer is a Spamton Neo Snowgray fight theme that is still popular to this day, receiving lyrical covers and all. It may as well be an official track. I also forgot to mention Under Event last time. Somehow. Under Event is basically a Nintendo Direct for Undertale and Deltarune FANWORKS. Cool shit, man. Still growing to this day. Now, there was also a very popular rules card battle that tried showing its true potential as the rules card. He messes with the battle a ton, even reverting it to Undertale's UI at one point. Incredibly fun, chaotic battle. Also, Twin Runes. But Capo, my good friend Capo is going to explain because I don't know shit about it. Come on, Capo, come on!
Hello everyone, it's me, Capo, here to explain you what Twin Runes is from the comfort of my phone recorder, because my PC is fucking broken. Twin Runes is a comedy-focused AU of Deltarune that takes place after Chapter 3. This was before Chapter 3, so it's more like a Kemanos, the author's take on Chapter 3. It's mainly about Frisk and Kara getting dropped in the Deltarune world, and then shenanigans ensue. It's mainly a light read with some tiny serious moments, but nothing too dark. What is interesting though is that in this era, they predicted Flower King being the Chapter 4 Dark World and the comic take. Other than that is very, very different. That's all. Bayonara.
There's just one final boss fight against the Titans. Can't lie, regardless of the presentation, this is kind of sick. Multiple battles going on at once, and they only got the Titans' head even fitting on screen. That sounds like a score to me. During this time, the Titans began to be shown as only the 3 characters shown during Rousey's explanation of the Roaring, and sometimes they'd even get personalities. Adam Vendetta's Attack on Titan design is a great example of how these Titan characters usually looked. Blue Green Ghost made this stunning javelin animation. Just, there's not much to say about it, but it's just stunning. She animated him juggling for no reason besides just to flex more. I swear, generational. I know Inverted Fate is Undertale AU, but they add Spamton, and it's popular, so we're bringing it up. Inverted Fate Spamton. Cool. Delta Traveler dropped Section 3 of the game, which takes place in Violet Bunny's Underfell take. This spawned interesting things that we'll talk about.
I'm so scared.
I forgot to mention this last time too, but Seek released their cool Deltarune mod, trademark, for Friday Night Funkin'. Quite a fun time that got consistently updated for a while. I also forgot to mention the Ribbit mod last time. Totally generational Chapter 1 era mod that got a 2.0 update during this time. Truthfully, I don't know a lot about it, but I just know it is peak. Play it for yourselves. Amakaru would release a handful of popular fan games with Spam Up and Silhouette Rune. I should have covered this creator more because they were generational during Chapter 1 era, actually. That's my mistake. They made a treasure trove of the most popular fan games. Versus the Fun Gang, versus Spinel, Hollow Shot, Delta Fury, all by the same person. Generational. Let's mention ships real quick, off the top of my head. Krause, Curdley, Suzel, Shamville, Soriel, Sandsgore sometimes, Spamville, many more. Shamville and many are old, but still. Everything got amplified during this time because Chapter 2 bumped the game's popularity tenfold. I almost forgot. Addendum time! Puppet Pipeline. Think of Swap Swap. I don't know if you guys know what Swap Swap is, but it's Underswap from Undertale. Swapped again. Think of the other puppet, AU we talked about last time, Chris Spamton Swap. That's the big one. Do that, but again and again and again until you get the same other same other same other puppet. Yeah, same other. The Puppet Pipeline usually covered the Spamton suite of tracks, starting with Spamton and ending off with a big shot. With that, I believe we have covered all the serious ground that I can actually physically cover. Is there more to talk about? Yes. How long is this video already? That long. I cannot physically go over every single facet of Deltarune fandom culture no matter how hard I try, but believe me, I'm trying. Let's cover one last base, just like the other times. Let's end off with meme culture. Truthfully, meme culture didn't change all that much during this time. I would say that this is the beginning of true Delta rot, though. While all these jokes did come from Undertale stuff, they apply to both Undertale and Deltarune since the fandoms are undoubtedly intertwined. For example, I remember your genocides began here. This one's Deltarune, but also, it's like he's in some king of snow grave, and also, I'm not falling for that shit! Brunzel, the secret dreamt of third skeleton brother. Baby Bones, the other third skeleton brother. All of it started here. Of course, Spamton himself was a big meme, whether it be a shitpost or 4 animation memes. An example of a large Spamton meme that showcases just the vibe of all the Spamton memes and shitposts perfectly is this cake. Congrats on the divorce. We unintentionally knew something, didn't we? Speaking of the animation memes, The Mind Electric was a popular song to animate over at this time. I just can't explain why. Good song. Just can't explain why, specifically. Friend Inside Me was also a meme in itself. Even if there were plenty of serious fan concepts that we mentioned earlier, it's just an inherently funny concept. Woody's secret boss. And the original song, you can even call it a song, is so goddamn funny. Like, what was Toby doing, genuinely? What is the meaning of this shit? I'm not saying there is one. I'm just like, just why? Why was this made? Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Terrifying. Paralyzing. I can't fucking breathe. The stack of chairs in Toriel's classroom became a meme too. The throne of the gods. This is the last time we will ever be close to the humor we had during Chapter 1 era, I believe. This is the closest we are 2019 ever. There goes my phone. Finally. Last. But not goddamn least. I mentioned some funny things about Delta Traveler earlier. That's because the writing of Section 3 was questionable, to say the least. Not that I'm hypercritical of FANWORKS, but it was questionable. Sans calls Susie an orphan and says, "That was the most cathartic kill I've ever done." And that was the most cathartic script I've ever done. Fucking hell! We're at an hour. I mean, we'll have to trim it down. We're an hour and 9 minutes. We're not at the outro. We're not at the outro. I have more things to say. Stick by me. I do these because, truthfully, I miss how fun these times were. That isn't to say it's not fun now. Otherwise, I wouldn't have this channel at all. But man, not to sound like a nostalgia-blinded chud, but others who were there can vouch. We will likely never have anything like the post-sweepstakes era again. The fully fledged out chapter takes, while still being made, are becoming less and less common as Deltarune approaches its ending. It's like they're an endangered species that Twen Express is keeping alive. At this time, we were in this perfect Goldilocks zone, where we knew just enough to go wild, while we actually didn't know much at all. But it doesn't matter that we didn't know. With the modern Deltarune space, many feel the need to be right or wrong about things. Dare I say that that's part of the reason that some people are almost nervous to put their work out there, to put chapter takes, future predictions of characters. If you don't end up at least getting something right, then your work was always ridiculous to some people. The current theory space is, everyone is wrong about X, or I solved Y. I can't police people, nor do I want to, but man, looking back at all the history, how we used to be, fellas, doesn't it just seem more fun? Chapter takes embraced the fact that they were fan fiction, made by fans. And it's okay if we don't know everything or predict everything one-to-one with these giant corkboards, because we are fans. We're fans, and that's fine. New gen or not, we are all in the same boat. I know I can't influence anything, but I just want to get the idea out there that maybe we'd all have a better time if we just loosen up a little bit again. Death Knight, Peril Knight, Rudy, Hell, argue Papyrus if you so choose. God damn it, argue Alvin! And if you disagree, you should have the passion to do so. But again, we're all in the same exact boat here as fans of this beautiful piece of art. We're all just interpreting it in our own ways. We are fans making fan works, and it will forever be that way. We physically cannot be more than just a fan. Embracing that fact is what enabled us to pump out so much fan media. I mean, talking about it, this is going to be my longest video ever. I never want to go longer than this. Obviously, it's all great fun, but this is long as shit. And if that doesn't speak volumes for how much goddamn just fun we had, I don't know what else can. I encourage you all, leave your crackpot ideas in the comments below. Doesn't matter if it's a theory. Doesn't matter if it's some fan fiction-y idea you had. It doesn't matter. I would love to hear from you.
You should really consider drawing a ruler.
If you really want to, write about the Rook from Ozymandias. This is a free, safe space. Who gives, repeat after me, who gives a rat's ass? Have fun. If I can do anything, I hope that reintroducing these ideas to people, maybe making people remember what things were like, or showing new people how things could be, I hope I can at least inspire one person to run fully wild with their ideas again. That's all. You have definitely made up those missing credits by now. Thank you all for attending my dream.